Hey everyone, welcome to this explainer. Okay, today we're looking at something absolutely fascinating. You know those latest AI coding tools dominating our feeds right now? You probably think they're just about, well, coding. But what if I told you that the tools developers are using right this very second are actually a secret entry point for something much, much bigger? It's literally a classic Trojan horse strategy, and the battle lines are being drawn between the biggest players in the industry right now. Okay, let's dive into this and challenge the hype for just a second. Look at this quote. Coding isn't solved yet. AI does way too many mistakes and introduces way too much bloat and bugs. While these major AI companies might act like they've just completely conquered software engineering, the reality on the ground, it's kind of different. Because AI still frequently hallucinates logic. Blindly trusting it with your entire code base right now is a super dangerous game. But here's the really fascinating part. For companies like OpenAI and Anthropic, writing perfect code was never actually their final destination. So despite the errors and the bugs, developers remain the pioneers here. We're the necessary first mass adopters. Why? Well, because agentic tools, meaning AI that can actually take actions on its own, like Codex, Claude Code, GitHub Copilot, and Cursor, these were originally built natively for a coding environment. Developers jumped on them because code is this highly controlled, text-based environment. It's the perfect testing ground. But if you look at the grand scheme of things, developers are actually a pretty small group. To the big AI players, we're essentially just the beta testers. Which brings us to Section 1, the real target, moving beyond the code. Now, here is the massive prize these companies actually want to capture. We're talking about the everyday, mundane tasks of non-developers. Think about the millions of people who spend their entire days just living inside Excel sheets, battling Word document formatting, crunching complex numbers, or manually pulling data from PDFs. For OpenAI and Anthropic, this massive white-collar computing market, that is the real pie. They don't just want to help you write a Python script, they want to automate every single mundane office task you do. All right, Section 2, Clash of Strategies, How to Conquer the Desktop. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is seeing them pitted directly against each other, because we see a massive divergence in design philosophy. On one side, we've got OpenAI pushing this universal super app strategy. They basically want one massive, all-encompassing application that literally does everything for everyone. On the exact opposite side, we have Anthropic, opting for a very carefully segmented app ecosystem. Let's break down exactly what this looks like, starting with OpenAI. Section 3, OpenAI's super app vision, the do-it-all approach. Inside the Codex Super App, the capabilities they're cramming under one hood are just staggering. It generates images using the GPT Image 2 model. It spins up chat sessions on the fly. It analyzes complex sales metrics and data analytics. They even announced computer use features designed to directly control your computer's applications. And here's the real secret. It uses code invisibly in the background to perform all these tasks that seem to have absolutely nothing to do with coding. Like, when you ask it to analyze sales data, it's actually writing a Python script in the background to do the math, even if you never see a single line of code. But looking at all of that functionality brings us to a very critical question. Does a do-it-all app create confusion for non-technical users? Think about it. If you're a standard office worker, is having complex coding features mixed directly into your everyday task environment going to be overwhelming? Our source material points out that having all this coding stuff inside the app isn't exactly invisible, even if you switch to a non-coding view. Are we risking a situation where these tools are just way too cluttered for the average office worker to adopt smoothly? Let's move to Section 4 and see how this builds. Anthropic's segmented philosophy, keeping tasks separated. So unlike OpenAI, Anthropic neatly splits its ecosystem into clearly defined buckets based on exactly who is using it. As you can see here, you have the Claude Code CLI, which is a command line interface strictly for developers focused on raw coding interactions. Then you've got the Claude Desktop app for tech-savvy users who want an interactive code chat area. And finally, Claude Cowork, specifically built for non-technical users and optimized purely for non-coding desktop tasks. They're explicitly trying to avoid that exact user confusion a massive super app might cause by giving you exactly what you need and nothing more. Section 5. The human trap, the cost of automation. Now, whether you're using a mega app from OpenAI, a segmented app from Anthropic, or even incredible third-party tools like PyAgent, we face one major shared risk. Our source cautions us with this brilliant quote. The danger, of course, always is that you, as a human, get pretty lazy. I mean, think about the terrifying cautionary projection here. Imagine you use an AI agent to crunch numbers, it generates an entire Excel spreadsheet for your quarterly review, and you just send it straight to your boss, completely unchecked. Because the AI did it, you just kind of assume it's right. You stop double-checking the work, and suddenly, you're presenting hallucinated profits to the board. No way you want to be in that spot. And that laziness is especially dangerous because of invisible code execution. Remember, if your AI agent is just secretly writing Python scripts to format that Word doc, it is still prone to the exact same bugs and bloat we talked about at the very beginning of this explainer. Even when you ask an AI to fix a PDF, it's often writing and executing scripts behind the scenes. Because the whole shebang is fundamentally built on code, human oversight remains absolutely crucial. So what does this all mean? As these incredibly powerful tools rapidly expand from the developer's command line to the entire white-collar world, will one single super app win out, or will human complacency cost us all? It's a massive shift in how we interact with computers, basically turning every desktop into an AI battleground. Thanks so much for joining me on this explainer. I highly recommend you take a hard look at your own daily workflows and see where the Trojan horse might already be hiding. Keep learning, stay focused, and I'll catch you next time.